Matthew 5, guys.
Matthew 5.
And seeing the multitude, he went up a mountain. And then when he was seated, his disciples came to him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be 5.
The gentle are blessed, for they will inherit the earth. Those who hunger and thirst for righteousness are blessed, for they will be filled. The merciful are blessed, for they will be shown mercy.
8.
The pure in heart are blessed, for they will see God. The peacemakers are blessed, for they will be called sons of God. 10.
Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me.
Well,
Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted are they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, where shall it be salted? Is it thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men?
14.
You are the world's light, and city on a hill glowing in the night for all to see.
And 15. And 15.
What is 15? 15 or 16? 14.
15.
Let's start Matthew 5:14.
14, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden.
No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, but rather on a lampstand, and it gives light for all who are in the house. 16.
In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them.
I'm going to get there eventually, but that is very powerful because a lot of times I've heard so many times the law was what put on the cross.
He was nailed to it.
And he just told you, I did not come to do what?
Destroy both.
So I didn't come to destroy the law. So then why did we destroy it? When he says I didn't come to destroy it, I came to fulfill it. So then, if it's fulfilled, what I did is came, and it's what I've done is helped you to see it all about it, so you understand that the law itself was the stop sign. The law itself was designed for you to see what you do wrong. You're going to see that also when we get to the book of, when we get into the book of John. You'll see it also when he starts to describe the workings of the Holy Spirit. And it does pretty much the same thing. But guys, getting back into those Beatitudes that we call them. He says that, where we back, well, let's go back. He says in 9 we're blessed are the who? The peacemakers, right? So what do you mean, blessed are the peacemakers? Because that's where we were. Peacemakers, because we already talked about fear. Now, if you have these documents, and the one that says Matthew 5, 1 through 12, if you have that one, then if you flip pretty much closer to the last couple of the last pages, you see the peacemakers. See it?
Middle of page 6.
Yeah, there it is, 6.
Okay.
I forgot you later. So 6. And it says,
Peacemakers. I'm not going to try.
You know this.
to bring men together, to make peace between men and God, to solve disputes and erase divisions, to reconcile differences and eliminate strife, to silence tongues and build right relationships.
Watch this, and he says, and blessed are those, right? Watch this, and he says, and blessed are those who are peacemakers. You know any peacemakers that are around in the church?
There should be or there are.
Do you know any that are around that are in the church?
The preachers.
Okay, but I'm saying, other
we all
people
should.
besides myself, other
We
people.
all should be.
Christians, we all should be peacemakers.
One more time, I said, you know any, I didn't say we all are, I said, do you know any that are peacemakers?
Lord,
I know what we should be, but we ain't.
Right.
So this is where I'm at. So, do you know any peacemakers that you know in this church that you could immediately point out that are in the church? I know one that I sometimes bump heads with her. I do. You know one? You know what I'm talking about, right? Sister Cook. Stop and think about it. Sister Cook is forever. She's got that, maybe it's with me, but I know for a fact she doesn't want to create problems. We got another one that's sitting back there that's a peacemaker, that's in this room that I know of. She's always the last part of the table.
Lottie Dottie.
Lottie Dottie. A peacemaker. Couple times I was talking about him. No Lord.
Yeah, that's right.
But and I'm serious. She's searching for peace. She's always searching for it. She looks at, I can call her and talk about stuff, and she's always hunting for the solution, hunting for the answer to produce peace.
Sure.
God, that's a peacemaker. Someone that's searching for, yes, I see just what you see. Yes, I hear just what you hear. But that doesn't resolve anything because I see what you see and hear what you see and hear what you hear. What I'm doing is now there has to be a solution. And so that's where she comes in. She produces, she comes up with a solution as to how to, you're right, I agree with you. Don't pay them no mind. And am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? And that's how she said, don't pay them no mind. Okay? But that's what I'm saying, but this is true. So many times when I'm really down and out, y'all didn't know that, but I call Lottie Dottie.
Yeah, you call.
And she'll listen to me because I'll be and she just sat there and just listened to me. And then when she think, well, he didn't calm down a little bit, I better get my little bit in now because he didn't slow down a little bit. Then she said, don't pay the folks no mind. You go on about you doing a great job. You just keep doing what you're doing. That's a peacemaker, guys. They're always searching for the solution. They're not adding to the flames. They're not putting more to it. Yes, you can agree with me. Lottie could agree with me, and all it's going to do is put more fuel to the fire. No, we're trying to put this fire out. So that's your peacemaker. I've mentioned that, but there's others that are around, but that's your peacemaker. Those are always adamantly locating for, trying to find a solution to fix it, not to tear it down. So I'm saying, don't want to tear down anything. So watch this. The next one says what?
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
So now we've got persecuted. I said persecuted means to do what?
To endure suffering for Christ, to be mocked, ridiculed, criticized, ostracized, to be treated with hostility, to be martyred.
Keep going. I want you to
There are
say.
three major kinds of persecution mentioned by Christ in this passage: being reviled, verbally abused, insulted,
Verbally abused.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch it? Insulted.
Scolded,
Come on.
mocked, cruel mockings, Hebrews 11:36, persecuted, hurt, ostracized, attacked, tortured, martyred, and treated
That's
hostilely,
more of them back then. Keep going.
having all manner of evil spoken against, slandered, cursed, and lied about.
Have you ever been in those situations
Yes.
where someone says something and you didn't do this? So watch this. If this is the case, then for you to be persecuted, let it be for the sake of
Right.
Christ. Let it be for the sake of Christ, because it's okay. It doesn't make it go away. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was that they've done, it doesn't make it go away. But you said, God will take care of it. And so watch this. God will take care of them. Then you've missed it. Because God ain't asking you to say, God will take care of them. God is looking for you to pray for them.
That's right.
See the difference? When you understand persecution in Christ, when you understand you're being persecuted in Christ, then you understand what I need to do then is pray for them. James was considered one of the apostles who had calluses on his knees. So that meant he stayed on his knees all the time, praying for others. I can see the rest of the apostles doing the same thing. I can truly see Paul doing this, staying on his knees, praying for the church all the time. I said, maybe if we were to do that, it would stop a lot and would start to help us to be peacemakers. Something to think about it. We would become peacemakers. I know you got some juicy news you want to tell me. But let's put that on hold. Here we go, but let's put that one on hold. Let me tell you about some good. You can tell me about some bad, tell me about some good. You can find, when you're searching, you can find wrong with somebody. So why don't you search deeper and find good about that individual?
There's nothing better than news.
Yeah. Oh Lord, don't even mention that. Man. Yeah, that done got to the point where I watch the news once and then I'm done. I don't want to see no more about it. I've had enough of watching the news, because all it is bitter, 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 bitter. It's just always bitter. So who wants to see this?
They try to end it with a happy.
You got it. So what does it end it with what?
They try to end it with a happy thing.
Yeah, like that's supposed to.
Right. That's what they told you, every bad thing going on.
You're right. And then the cat was stuck in a tree.
Right.
Okay? But now watch this. Let's go back. I want you to see this. See you reading?
Yes?
Sure.
Well,
11?
I'm reading the paper.
11? We all look at it.
Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely,
So then watch
for my
this.
sake.
So then watch this. Go up to 10 and take me to 11.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
He says, so blessed are those who are what?
Persecuted.
Persecuted. So what did I make the statement? Be persecuted for the
Sake of Christ.
for the sake of Christ. So what he is saying is, it's coming. You can't get around that. It's coming. If you love the Lord like you love the Lord, it's coming. You're going to face persecution. Because you're saying, I want to be just like Christ. In order to be just like Christ, then you must experience persecution. You got to experience it. You ain't had no persecution in your life? Stop, but you see what I'm saying? Stop and think about it. If you haven't had any persecution in your life, you need to call up the Lord and find out why. Because, yes.
Would it be persecution as people would feel it today differently from back then? Persecution would be like maybe not being able to pay your bills or different things like that. Is that the type of persecution?
Not on that one, no.
No.
Because the persecution he's talking about is the same persecution that would have taken place then. But remember, their persecution led to being martyred, or actually being killed. But watch this, but our persecution could also lead to what? I even gave you definition. Can also lead to what? Slander. Remember when I was right? Remember it's there. Remember I told you it's there. It's in your paper. So our persecution can be from that standpoint. Somebody that's watching us that you just knew. Like, there's no way in the world you would even make a statement like that against me. That's persecution. And so watch us. And it's for whose sake? It's for Christ's sake. So instead of me, watch this. Don't remove this. Be angry, but don't remove this. Don't you dare run around being robotic. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray for them. That ain't even real. Look, I'm angry or I'm disappointed at what the person has said. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to God. I'm going to go to God. I'm going to talk to God. And I don't need to tell you, Dwayne, that I'm going to go to God for them. That is something that I do. I go into the closet and say, you know, now, Lord, help to subside my anger behind this slander or this accusation that has been made against me. Lord, please, you know, I'm struggling at this time. Being real. I'm struggling at this time. So please, the Lord, not only forgive me, but forgive them as well. And be sincere about it. Because you're only talking to God. Well, how else can you be? He reads your heart. And if you ain't ready to forgive, then don't you stop playing games with God. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
That's all you're going to say? Okay, let's go. That's all I'm going to say.
Too often, you know, we allow others to dictate and determine the outcome for us. And that's where, you know, we are, you know, we justify our reasons to hold on to, our attitude, you know, and everything else that comes with it. And not realizing that because we're not, we don't have a positive outlet, it continues to grow and fester. And it gets to a point where it starts to settle and it becomes so toxic.
Come on.
And then when someone that means you well attempts to say something to you, you can't handle it. And you say to yourself, wow.
You always hurt the one you love the most. Not you love, but the one you love the most. Something went crazy and Dwayne go home and go off on Teresa. And she's still trying to figure out what the heck did I do for this to take place. You know what I'm saying? For him to, you know, all I said was, I'm sorry I didn't, you know, I know you told me to get the clothes out of the cleaners, but sorry I forgot. But you know what I'm saying? And really what it is it's something else that has festered, not just came up, but it's deep down inside now. It's doing its dirt. And so now you hurt the one that you love the most. You see it all the time. So then, watch this. We're talking about persecution. So we're talking about how you don't realize that you look at the Old Testament and you look at the ones being martyred and things like that. When we're looking at today's time, where you can see how you don't realize it, how you've hurt someone, or how you're hurting someone. Got somebody that you really want to be here, but they won't be here, and you don't even realize it when you go home because you know they should have been here, and you say something you shouldn't say. Stop thinking about it. It don't have to be much, but you say something that does what to them. Stop thinking about it. That's persecution. You just persecuted somebody. What was this all about? Okay, so I wasn't there. So what? It ain't the end of the world. Guys, I'm trying to get you all to be real because I'm being real. Because there's times when I see things that I don't like hearing, boy, I'd really rather go tell you a thing or two, but I have to let it go. Let it go and come on. If it's not scriptural, then you need to let it go. And if you don't have something good to say, then find it. You know, often we say, then don't say nothing. Then find something good to say. You see how warped your thinking is when you can't find something good to say about somebody. You see how warped you are. That means now you need to go grow some calluses on your knees, because you need to get on your knees more than where you've ever been before. Because you got an issue. He made the statement, watch this. He says, because they shall, he says in 10, he says, because the sake, he says, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Watch this. Did you know 10 and 11 go together? That's why I told you to read it, Steve. Because 11 says, what? Blessed are you?
When men
Come on.
shall revile you
Come on.
and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you.
Watch this. That's not
Also.
spiritual, by the way. That's not spiritual, by the way. That's actually somebody that's saying something very hurtful to you. That's also someone hurting you or saying something, watch this.
Gossip.
You got it. And you know we're around.
They intend to hurt.
But you're the subject matter and you know we're around.
What you call character assassination.
What? Character assassination? Okay. Stop and think about it. Yes.
It could be even to the point of at your job, something that you're falsely accused of, and you end up fired from your job, and you can't really do anything about it.
Right. And that's sad.
Look at this guy who was just recently released from prison. I forget, he was probably in prison over 20 years for a crime. And they finally discovered that he didn't do it.
Wow. That's deep. So watch this. He says, now you can pull your paper. What does this mean? To cast insults. You see it? To cast insults. Right, just all you have to do is to page 7.
Okay.
Read it.
To cast insults is to throw abusive words in the face of an opponent.
He took my time.
I'm tired. Teresa, what did you do though? What did you do though?
I just let it go.
Good, go ahead. So what? It says what?
To cast insults is to throw abusive words in the
Did you
face
hear
of
it?
an opponent.
To throw abusive words. Come on,
To mock viciously,
come on.
faithfulness to Christ will
You're not
bring
making fun of someone, is it? Huh?
Yeah, sounds like it.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
mock. Yeah.
yeah.
Faithfulness to Christ will bring enemies of the gospel to say all kinds of evil against us falsely. Whereas insults or abusive words said to our faces, these evil things are primarily abusive words said behind our backs.
Lord have mercy. By the way, I'm not talking about the world.
No, this is us.
Hello. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us, and we're wondering why, I don't understand why the church is shrinking. I don't understand why people aren't as actively involved anymore. Because you walked in the church with an attitude. Did not tell me where to sit. I sit where I want to sit.
Not to mention your own baggage you're trying to bring up in here.
Well, you got a double whammy, huh, Calvin? You see what I'm saying?
So how do you build a relationship like that?
Well, watch this. All I know is Brother Thompson, when he get up there, he better what?
You better
Bring it.
He better bring it. You hear me?
stop on time.
See, that's right. Listen to what you say. Stop and think of this is it.
Not to mention you're sick and you're seeking a healing.
Isn't that something?
You messed up,
Isn't that something?
but your approach is not from a humble perspective. You know, I always say to people like this, right? You know, there are a lot of people that come in with an urgency,
Come on.
but what they do is they act like the living dead.
Come on.
And so the living dead drags along,
That's it.
just dragging along.
Come on.
And watch this. You know, there's no way you can come here and sit and the spirit is alive.
Come on.
The spirit is active. And then you come out the same way. There's no
That makes
way.
sense. That makes
Unless,
sense.
you know, you don't want to say that, you know, unless you ride to the core.
That's it.
But you just choose to
But
just
remember-
stay that way.
But remember, you said you came in sick. You went to the mechanics and you told him it was the alternator. And then by again. You went to the mechanics and you told him it was the alternator. Maybe I give you something simple that you all would know. Shocks. You told him it was the shocks. I had someone just recently say, my shocks are bad. I says, how do you know? Because my shocks are bad. I said, okay. So somebody told you your shocks were bad. So what did they do to determine your shocks were bad? I know you understand this terminology. So what did you do? You came in and told the doctor already what was wrong with you. When that may not be what's wrong with you. Yeah, this is what you came in
Could be
with.
a heart problem.
When that may not be the issue. Someone goes in, I know Renee's dad said all he had was a little indigestion and didn't realize he was having a heart attack. But what did you tell him? I have a little indigestion. Okay, so let's just fix the indigestion. So that's all it is. And send you back out. Because you already diagnosed it.
There you go.
You already said what it was. Okay? And it's the same way when we come into the church. I may have a little bit, I may have a little attitude, but look at that one over there. You don't realize what you're doing. So, right, so, well, it's going to lead to that. Because what you're doing is you're looking to be better than someone else.
Envy, covetousness.
Yes. And so you don't realize that you came into a spiritual hospital realizing that you were sick, I hope. But watch this. But a lot of times you come into the hospital and don't recognize your illness. And the physician, it don't always have to be the preacher. The physician could be one of you all realizing, oh my God, this person needs a little TLC. Just need a little love. So let me go, if you don't mind, let me sit beside you. That right there might be just enough to build them up, to make them feel I'm all right. All right, and all right enough now to hear the message, to hear that great physician speak on your own problems. But what we do is walk away with this attitude. He was talking about me. You get mad. What do you mean? Why are you getting mad? Because he was somebody must have told him about me. Well, he wasn't even looking at you. He did, he glanced over there. But what else did he glance at? Who else did he glance at? You didn't even see him. He glanced over everybody else too. But he stayed a little 2 minutes too long. But you know what I'm saying? This kind of foolishness. And the man ain't even looking at you. You thought he was looking at you because he looked at that direction. He ain't even looking at you. He's just surveying the crowd and delivering.
What that is the Holy Spirit convicting you.
Yes.
That's all that is.
But you don't see it.
Yeah.
So then watch this. He makes the statement, I told you, cast insults, say all kinds of evil, against us falsely. Guys, these are the works of Satan. And you don't even realize deception.
Amen.
You don't even realize it. You think you know Satan. You think you recognize wrong. You really do. And you go back and sit in the back row because you feel like it. Satan says, no, because I put you there. And what I want you to do is, if anybody says something concerning that, that's it. You rebel. Yes.
Yeah, the ones in the back are the obvious ones, but you have ones in the front too.
Woo!
You know, because you can't rule out the subtleness,
Come on.
the craftiness.
Come on.
Satan is sneaky.
Yes.
He used devices. You got to
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
Always describe it as you can be in attendance and you may not be present. And I always say you got to be present in order to receive
You got it.
what you need.
Two men walked into the church together. Two men sat down and heard the same message. One walks away saying they wouldn't buy nothing. The other one says, here am I, send me.
Amen.
What happened? They were the same message, same time, everything. What happened? One came in with a heart of forgiveness. The other came in with a heart of, you better preach, brother.
The agenda.
Yes, you got it. And by the way, and they said up front, something to think about it. Listen to what I'm talking about, because your next verse says, be glad. Look, come on, watch this. Says what?
Go ahead, Teresa.
Stop it. Okay, be glad and rejoice, because your reward is great in heaven. For that is how they persecuted the prophets.
So then why is your reward good? He says be glad. So why is your reward good? Because he said you got a good reward.
For rejoicing.
Yeah. So, but why is your, we know it's
Because that's how you're,
Because of your persecution.
because they what?
persecuted.
And it was how you what?
Responded.
Responded to the persecution.
See what I'm saying? This is what he's saying here. That's why you should be glad. Because it has a reward. You will profit by it. But your problem is you're looking for the microwave reward. You're looking for it instantly. When God may be saying your reward may not even be here. It may be there. Huh? It may be in heaven. Or watch this. Or God saying your reward is here. It's just not now. Huh? When you become Christ-like, then you'll do a Matthew 25 when you didn't even know you were doing good. You were just doing what God told. You were just doing watch this, what you have been taught to do. And you felt it was, this is something I need to do. This person just has fallen. Let me help this person out. This person is short with their rent. And let me maybe chuck out $1, $100 or $2, just to get them through it. And you don't tell anybody. Hear me? You don't let the right hand know what the left hand just did. God says, I saw it. Be glad. Yes.
Yeah, the other side to that is, if my head is hard,
Come on.
I may not receive it soft.
Okay. Okay.
And see, and that's what you got to understand. Sometimes the work is not in the time that you believe that it's completed. And so why do I continue to go through this? Because it's a lot more work than you see.
Uh-oh.
And God is allowing you to be preserved
Yes.
hoping that you come to your senses and get it
Hello.
before you check out.
Well,
And the hope is that you come to that understanding.
I let you live a long life. And have you seen some evil people continue to live? And you say, I don't understand it. You know they're evil. Why do you continue to let them live? Because God says, I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance to turn, to change. I'm giving them a chance to turn, to change. But Lord, I changed when I was 40 years old. And they're 80. And I'm giving them a chance to turn their lives around. I don't understand that you would if you were in Christ, because you would have this attitude also that you wish that no man would perish. Stop and think about it. You would have that same, there's no way in the world, I used to say this to Renee all the time, I don't see how you can allow your mother, your father, I don't see how you can allow them, they're not in Christ and you, and it's okay. I says that would rip me apart. When you know now the truth. So what would be your goal? I don't know about you, but my goal was to make sure that all my family members understood who God was. That became my priority. Hear me now. And that priority is going to produce persecution. They're going to reject you. They're going to say, you go on now. You don't need to be coming here talking that noise. We don't need to hear that. You have a goal. Don't ever lose it. A lot of times you don't realize that you came to church or to worship. So how did someone steal your joy? Well, this is what you came for. So how did you steal you came for Bible study. Don't let nobody steal your joy. I came to learn. Then learn. And the only way you're going to learn is you have to be open-minded. But you can't learn if that mind is closed. Because you got an answer. You can't learn also if you got a quick tongue. Can't get it out of my mouth or you got an answer to it. You're not learning. You turn around and put it on something that the person ain't even said yet. Stop and think about it. We must have this kind of attitude if we want to see joy. By the way, this joy is not a physical joy.
Yeah.
This is a spiritual joy. It is walking down the street praising God, singing songs, and folks look at you and you got to be crazy. You singing or your mouth is moving. You don't have to worry about it anymore nowadays because we have cell phones. You know what I'm saying? You have cell phones, so they think you're just talking to someone on the cell phone. But can you imagine you walking down the street and ain't no cell phone? You're just praising God. No matter what. I made this statement to little Sheena today. I said, one thing about it, your spirit is good. One thing about it, you got a good spirit. You don't let too much rock you. You don't see the negative. You try to find the positive. That's a beautiful spirit, guys, whether you know it or not. When you instead of looking at the negative, because I'm saying something negative, and she came up with something positive. I said, this is what I'm talking about. When you're looking for the positive, that's once again a peacemaker. Stop thinking, these are the ones that will inherit the kingdom of heaven. It's what you're basically saying. Jesus is basically saying this. When you change your attitude, then you'll understand these things. But if you don't never change your attitudes, all these are beatitudes. You mean all they are is beautiful statements that Jesus is making. Every one of these statements have a meaning to them. Every last one of them. And it is to change your behavior. You want to love, or you want to see God, then have a pure and... You see what I'm saying? This is what he's saying. Then have a pure in heart if you want to see God. You want to, watch this, you want to inherit the kingdom of heaven? He says then you need to be what? Meek. Yours says gentle. That's what he's saying. Stop and think about it. He says, watch this, I'm laying down rules. I'm laying down laws that were already in existence, but I'm bringing them to your attention so that you can see this is what you need to do. But what is coming to me? This is what you need to do. You have got to empty yourself. It's got to become a part of you. It can't be robotic. It's got to become a part of you. It is done instantaneously without even thinking about it. You're doing these things that are good. Why? Because if nothing else, think about Christ. It'll help you. What he's done. It'll help you. Watch this. I'm getting into where I want to go. Let's go. He says what? He says what? 12. No, chapter 13.
Yeah, 13.
Where I'm getting. That's where I want to go.
You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt should lose its taste, how can it be salty? It's no longer good for anything but to be thrown out and trampled by men. You are the light of the world. A city situated on a hill cannot be hidden.
I want you to see this. Pull your paper. You should have it now. 5:13. I want you to see this salt. How the salt loses its saltiness. It doesn't. So what are you talking about? So what are you talking about? You ever had some salt that lost its saltiness? Stop and think about it. Whatever you've done, if it was salt, it tasted like salt. So then what are you talking about? So that's why I put this here. I says, in these 4 verses, that's where we're going to go. He says, the Lord summarized the function of believers in the world. Reduced to one word, that function is what?
Influence.
You got to see it. So then when he speaks of salt, he's really speaking of influence. He really wants you to understand what this salt is. You are the salt of you are the ones that can influence the world. I don't know why the world is like it is. Because you're not influencing it. You're salt. You didn't lose your saltiness. You're salt. If you didn't lose it, then it's something you're not using. So then watch this. He goes on. I put down, Jesus talks
about the influence of his people on the world for God and for good. In his high priestly prayer, Jesus said to his Father, I do not ask thee to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil one.
Remember that? Go ahead.
They are not the world, even as I am not of the world. As thou didst me into the world, I also have sent them into the world.
Keep going.
In both verse 13 and verse 14, the pronoun you
Yes.
is emphatic.
So what you is emphatic. He wants us to keep in on the verse. Read the verse. It says what? In 13 it says
You are the
what?
salt of the
It
earth.
says, wait a minute. It says what?
You.
You. It says you. In 14 it says what?
You.
You. See that? That's the highlight. That's the thought. He's saying it's you. The you would, so he's talking about his apostles. No, that is too bold.
That's us.
That's us, baby. He says, this is what you are. When you surrendered yourself to Christ, that may be the issue, but when you've surrendered yourself to Christ, then you are. Then you are. But if you've never surrendered yourself to Christ, you will always have a debate. You will always have a rebelling. You will always, this will always be a part of you. because you've never surrendered. I am who I am. That's why you are what you are too. Yes.
No, that was a good point you said, that it's not that you lost it, you're not using it.
You're not using
Because
it.
if you have salt,
Come on.
and it's in the shaker,
Come on.
and you don't use the salt,
Doesn't go turn into nothing else.
it's salt, but
It's still salt.
but it's not being used.
That's right.
I mean, if it's just sitting in the shaker,
Right.
it's hard. Huh?
It's hard.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, 'cause you use salt on your food and everything to season them. But if you don't use the salt, I mean, it might well be lost.
Yes. It's over with. Yes.
Maybe it really doesn't make sense, because when you give yourself to Christ, then you surrender to win. So you surrender, it's constant. It's, you know, it's not in the moment. It's not when you feel it's convenient.
Right.
It's not when you queued up. It's
Right.
all the time. And sometimes, unbeknownst, I have to surrender. Because I can't see what's going to come up for me, even if it's me.
Right.
Because before I set sail, before I step out and begin my day, I need to learn how to set a tone. And oftentimes I think that I can get up and function and then go out and prepare myself to take on. There's some stuff out there that's bigger than me. And I have to be willing to surrender so that God can allow me to be open to see the things, because that's the key. If I'm going around here with my blinders on, you know, then I'm very reactive to the things that come up versus being responsive. Because I have to consider myself to be not a first reactor, but a first responder. That means that I am equipped. I do have some form of training, or I should. I should, you know. But, and then it's like, yes, I'm not saying that I know how to respond, but I am prepared to respond.
You got it. Watch this guy. Oh, your Bible. 13 says what?
You already saw it
It
there.
says, you are the salt of the earth. What tense is that?
That's present.
That's present tense.
Right now.
He says, it is a continuous
Yes.
action. You are, what he's saying, he's already taken us down after he's dealt with all the blessings. He says, you are.
Yeah.
There's nobody else. It's you.
Yeah.
You are the salt of the world. Watch this. I don't understand why the world is doing what they're doing, because you
Because you are the
are the
salt.
salt. They can't, why are you trying to get someone to function when they're not the salt or the light of the world?
And they're not equipped.
Right, so why are you trying to get them? Why is it you don't understand why that gentleman killed 17 people? Why is it you don't understand that Trump's messed around with 3 or 4 women? Why is it you don't understand that as you turn on the news, there's always something going on? A kid was in school, got an AK with him and another assault rifle with him, and they just took him out of school just yesterday. Why is it you don't understand this when you are the salt of the world? Because if you wake up, you'll understand that what they're doing is normal behavior. You know this is not normal. You understand killing somebody is wrong. You understand that. Well, they understand it too. Not like you. They don't understand it like you understand it. They don't understand that life is not something that you did. It was something that was given to you by the Almighty. They don't understand that, but you do. So you are the salt of the world. Go ahead.
How shall I say this? They don't understand because they act out on their emotions.
Go
When
ahead.
they get angry, it's just like in the Beatitudes, it was saying, blessed are the meek,
Okay.
blessed are the meek. A meek is a person, that's how God has equipped us, so that we're in control of what we do, how we react, how we respond. They don't have that gift. That's the gift that God has given to us. So, anything that happens, they act out on their emotions.
I agree. So watch this. He says, you are the salt of the earth. Oh, you gotta see this, guys. If you are what you are, then why do you react when you should be proactive? When you should be proactive. I made that statement about all of that is because you should know this. So it shouldn't shock you when something of this magnitude is taking place. We got an earthquake on its way coming, whether you like it or not.
Well, you keep that to
We got
yourself,
one.
brother.
We got one. Okay? Watch this. There's going to be a lot of folks that all of a sudden are going to react and they're going to race to God.
Yeah.
Hear me? And they're going to race to God.
Yeah.
But watch this. But you were proactive and they can't understand why you are much calmer in the situation.
I hear you.
If you are the light of the world, if you are the light of the earth. If you're not, you're going to respond just like they respond. You're going to push the panic button, go every which way, and do everything, and you can't understand. But if you are already aware, you even know how to handle death. Stop and think about it. Your understanding is that we don't die, we fall asleep. So that when you see a sibling that was in Christ, you don't cry like the others cried. If anything, and I used to say this all the time, if anything, you should be a little angry because they left before you did. They went home before you did. But if you're not the light of the earth, then you don't see these things. You think just like the world thinks. I want you to see what happened to the ancient world concerning this salt. Look at this. Pull your paper. Salt was frequently used in the Syrian ancient Near East. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
See it?
Salt was frequently used in the ancient Near East to bind a covenant, somewhat in the way an agreement or contract is notarized in our day. When the parties to a covenant ate salt together before witnesses, the covenant was given special, authentication.
Isn't there something up, guys? Salt. Salt. So I'm sitting there, in order for us to agree, we got salt here, you eat, I eat. Really?
Yeah, that's what it
Isn't
is.
that something? That's what that is. Keep going. I want you to see this.
Authentication. Though no particulars are given in the account, we learn from 2 Chronicles 13:5
That's why I told you you want to see it. Go ahead.
that God made a covenant of salt with David.
Isn't there something? Let's go back and look at it. It's there. Go ahead.
God prescribed that all sacrificial offerings in Israel were to be offered with salt, so that the salt of the covenant of your God shall not be lacking. Leviticus 2:3.
Want you to see it? We came out of that. Keep going. Salt does what
Salt
then?
preserves.
Salt does what?
It preserves.
And you are the what?
Salt of the world. Salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
So you are what?
A preserve of the earth.
So you preserve the earth.
Amen.
Do you understand what he's saying here?
Amen.
If you really stop and think about it, she ain't come to an end because he said something in 24th chapter of Matthew. He says if it wasn't for the
Righteous.
for the elect
Okay.
sake. That's what he said. He says then he would have what?
White.
destroy the whole world.
Yeah.
But since you are the preserved,
Wow.
since you are here, I won't do it. I won't take it. I won't take it away. I will allow that which is to preserve it, that which keeps it going. I will allow it to keep going.
Wow.
If we weren't here, God would have destroyed it a long time ago. I says, those that are salt. Now, what are you talking about? When we understand salt, I made the statement. Once it's salt, does it lose its saltiness?
No.
When you are a Christian, do you lose your Christianity?
Better not.
No.
No.
No, you don't. That's why there's greater heavens and lesser heavens. Huh? We all think we're going to be all up there all the same and everybody's going to be equal. Hate to burst your bubble. Because if God is judging us by our deeds, somebody has done something greater than Brother Thompson. And he deserves to be, to receive a greater gift than Brother Thompson. God is very fair. He's not what we see. Well, you know, hey, it's all the same. As long as I made it to heaven. Whoa, as long as I made it to heaven. That's a good thought. But in reality, now I get there, and there's one that's still greater now, receiving greater blessings, got a better, salvational life than you. What? Well, wait a minute, I don't understand it. So then, what's going to be there? Get to heaven and let's talk about it. That's God's works. That ain't Warren's work. That's God's work. God said that you would receive a great reward. I don't know what that reward is that identifies my reward versus Calvin, if I could use that. I don't know. But I do know he said if based upon the deeds, one that greater, somebody gets a greater reward.
But there won't be no envy about it, right?
I'm sorry, what?
There won't be no envy and all that about it.
No, it won't be, but there is a difference in your reward. Because he is saying, you are the light. You are the salt. You have preserved this world. Thank you for preserving my creation. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, don't just carry the title.
Yes.
There's a duty involved.
Yes.
Strive. Press on towards the mark.
Yes. How we miss it. Guys, pull your paper.
Wouldn't this be under the umbrella of love, though?
Huh?
Would this saltiness, the light of the world, I mean, would that be under the umbrella of
By all
love?
means.
Because it says, if you can do all these things and have not love, it don't mean nothing.
That's right. So by all means, it is under the umbrella. And once again, it's to those that are either salt or light. That's what it is. So watch this. I want you to see this. Salt, we said preserves, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. It keeps things from going bad and decaying.
It keeps what?
Things from going bad and decaying.
You see
Is
what?
that why cows lick salt?
It may be. But watch this. But how have you noticed? Stop and think about it. Listen to what I'm saying here. It preserves, it helps things from going bad. Our world is doing what? Our world is going bad. And why is our world going bad? Why is our world going bad? Why is our world going bad? Because your salt is no good. because your light is dim. You don't even go out to say, to bring somebody to Christ. You crawl up in there every Sunday with just yourself. And he told you that you are also what? A seed that bears fruit. He told you this. God is, so watch this. Jesus is now telling them, you are salt. You have the ability to save somebody. And you don't even realize it. You're too busy saving yourself, and don't watch it. You're going to miss heaven yourself. Because you're too busy looking out for you. When God is trying to tell you if you are the light or if you are the salt, then He's got you. You don't have to worry about you. Didn't He just talk about persecution? Stop and think about it. You don't have to worry about you. You go out and do what I tell you to do. Don't worry about it. If you understand who you are in me, don't you understand really to die is to gain? Really, it really is. To die is to gain. It really is. But some of us have been down here too long. Because we think if we die, look what we leave. Look, I got too much to do down here. And God is saying, you can't even, your world, you're so worldly. That's why your salt doesn't have any flavor to it. That's why your light is barely shining. Because it's, well, no, I love the Lord. God says, show me. Prove to me that you love me. How can you come and not tell somebody else about me? When you are that which they don't know. You're that which I've put in your mind. I've given you discernment. I've given you the Holy Spirit to guide you in all truth. I've given this to you. So you're the light. You're that salt. So why are we? What's happening here? Why then, if this is the case, and you're the one that will prevent something, why is it then that you're not using it? Told you this is not lightweight what Jesus is talking about. He's bringing something to their attention. And by the way, this includes even your Pharisees, your Sadducees, your scribes, your Sanhedrins. It includes all of them. Remember, the Word of God was given to who? To who? To who first?
Jews.
To the Jews first. What do you think your Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes and Sanhedrins are? It was put in their hands. Jesus says, but you are the light. And this is the light that this is what you demonstrate. You are the salt. And this is what you say, just your own. I made that statement a while back. For a minute or two, all you heard was the Church of Christ is the only true church. The Pharisees were also saying we're the only ones that will enter into the kingdom of heaven. The Pharisees were the same ones. We were saying that same mess. And watch this. And Jesus got tired of it. When we get to Matthew the 15th chapter, he gets tired of it. He says, they are hypocrites. Do as they say, but don't do as they do. He got tired of it. You keep talking about you, the church, but you won't do anything. You don't drink, you don't generate, you don't bring nobody in. The Jehovah's Witnesses are known for being out to evangelize. What's wrong with that picture? Your Jehovah's Witnesses are known to be out to evangelize. What is wrong with that picture? They're not the light nor the salt of the earth. We are. Somebody done stole your name because we won't do something. That's why it's going to get worse. It ain't the world that's making it worse, it's,
Is that?
you got it. It's us on what we won't do. Since we won't do it. Trump came in because of what we wouldn't do. He came in because, well, I don't like between the two evils, you got to choose the lesser evil. So what are you going to do? Well, I just ain't going to vote at all. This is the way we're handling God's work. Well, I don't like where it's going, so guess what? And I ain't going to do nothing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve my name in that pew, and I'm going to rock myself to heaven. Okay? That's what we're talking about. When he's bringing something to their attention, the world does not know me because of you. Because of you. Because I'm not going to come down and touch everybody's spirit and let them know, hey, I'm alive. I put it in your hearts to go tell somebody about me. You can advertise your business. You can advertise what you do. You're proud of your profession, but you're not proud of Christ. What's wrong with that picture? Got to be careful. Jehovah's Witnesses got our name out there, and they're out there busy. Watch this. Even in the rain, I've seen them. God forbid, on a good day, we ain't out there. Like not on a rainy day. I ain't through.
They want, and they don't know the scripture at all.
Or watch this.
They don't know the scripture.
Or watch this. Or watch this. They know a little of something, but you don't know nothing. So they put you in a corner with something. I'm telling you the truth. So they throw you in a corner and you trying to fight your way out of it because they didn't hit you with something that you ain't got an answer to. Yeah.
I don't agree with that, because if you put them in a corner with any type of information, they go away, they flee. So to me, it's like Satan. You give them something and they can't come back because he's right. They don't know it. And what they do is that their time is slotted. It is cult-like because they're out there every day, whether they reach somebody or not, because they have to have their time accounted for. And that is cult-like. So I have a sister, I don't know why in the world she would ever go back to that vomit, okay, after the way our family was. And she texts me and sends me magazines through the mail because she counts it as her time. They have to account.
Oh yeah, right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because they get paid. You do know that. Out there, being out there in the streets.
Well, not so much
Doesn't
paid.
matter, but they still get paid.
No, they're giving it to the Bethlehem Society because they have to buy a certain amount of magazines, certain amount of books, and that's how they make money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you said educate. Then educate me on this. What are we doing?
But you're right, they are out there, whether it's false or whatever, but they do have a presence that,
So they stole our joy. And they're not even the salt. And the world that doesn't know any better says, yes, I'll go with you. Because you haven't, meaning all of us, you haven't did what God has asked you to be. I told you what you are. Why aren't you doing it? Well, I heard, the Church of Christ are declining. So why are the other churches flourishing? If we're declining, why are they flourishing? Because I'm going to tell you what they do. See, they don't talk about preaching. They talk about the good of what's going on in their service. Girl, you need to get in here. Whoa, the music is awesome. You need to get in here, Reverend so-and-so, girl, he be throwing down. You come in, you hear this, and you go, this mess. You hear me? You come in and say, this mess, why would they even come into that? Because they're saying they're the light. They're saying they're the salt. And then they're showing what they are. We're saying, but we're it, but we just ain't gonna show you because we're going to heaven. And as long as I can make it to heaven, I don't know. I see scripture that says that we need to what? Look out for our own
Salvation.
hello, and we take it just what it says. I gotta look out for my own salvation, Dwayne. We take it, why not understanding the scriptures, looking out for your own salvation is by looking at others.
But whether right or wrong, they bring energy.
Come
So
on.
they bring in energy.
Hello.
And if you have that level of energy
Come on.
full
Come on.
inside a place,
Come on.
you know, all kind of stuff can happen. And we kind of, you know, I don't know, we just don't bring that level of energy.
We become rocking chair Christians. I told you, we're going to rock our way on into heaven.
I'm tired of twiddling my thumbs.
Okay? Stop and think about it.
But there are people that are leaving the Church of Christ and going to other places.
I agree, Steve. I agree.
Like I told you, I'm looking at the YouTube, I see it all the time. They say, why I'm not a member of the Church of Christ anymore.
Okay? And
I'm
it's
like, what? Huh? I mean, it's kind of discouraging.
Did they say what?
Yeah, they said why? Just the stuff that we talk about.
Right.
They,
It's true. And watch this. And when you do talk to us, we're rebellious. What do you mean you have musical instruments in your church?
Turn everything into a fight.
I'm trying to tell you, we become rebellious. We have to put on a war. We can't communicate and draw them close. Our energy is bad.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, isn't that kind of like separating the goats from the sheep? Because I think with music in general, it's a mask. It's a mask of evil, and what is behind it, what turns your children rotten, is music. And a lot of people leave Church of Christ. I even had a friend that left because it's so boring. You can't even sing anything. And so I think, isn't there somewhere in the Bible where a lot of people have a veil, and unless God takes that veil off so that you can see right and wrong, you're going to always follow wrong.
But watch this. But God is saying, you are the light. You're the salt.
I don't understand.
That which can remove it is
It starts with you.
you. You're the only ones that can remove this. It's good we recognize what you're saying. So when do you take it off? When do you send out, like Calvary said, this energy that says, hey, you need to come here? When, watch this, I hear this a lot. Let somebody come in here and else speak, and then I hear, woo, boy, now he was good. Stop and think about it. Stop and think about it. Because guess what? He went somewhere else. Hear me? He went somewhere else. So that person then says, well, the one you got. Did you hear how when you make statements, you see how the statements can be very damaging to your own location.
Belittling.
Yes, you belittle. That's what you do. And you don't even realize it. Girl, let me tell you, we had one last weekend, girl, he was good. What about the one you have now?
That's why you got to work on them loose lips.
Hello? You didn't go, you watch it. What you should have been doing was bringing to their attention, girl, we got one here now, but girl, we had one that came in, but girl, you should be here because of the one we have now. The energy says, hey, look, come on. You can, when there's a concert going, you just say, come on, girl, you gonna sign up? Let's do it.
Already gone.
Trying to tell you, we kill our own selves with loose lips and don't even realize it. And you don't even realize that you say something that tears down the church instead of building it up.
I know.
God shakes his head and said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I know lips at all.
But you know what? People, and you may not know this unless you've been in it, but people with low energy are often diagnosed.
Okay? Okay?
That's where you get your 5150.
That's right.
That's where you get your schizophrenia. That's where you get your
I
bipolar.
like that.
Because you're operating with low energy. All you got to do is go to these places and you watch them. And so what they do is they get a medication to alter the mood.
Come on.
So that you can function.
Gotcha. That's why I said, listening to Cheryl, you're right. So those, you said a close friend of yours has left. But why did they leave? Because what was said about the church? What should have been said about the church? It should have been something to encourage, not to tear her down, but to build her up. Because they ain't telling you nothing bad about theirs.
I'm sorry. But what it is, I think a lot, is that people have grown up on this cultural thing of having this hand clapping music and this foolishness.
Go ahead, I know.
And they can't handle the truth when they hear it. So people, I think, even with your sermons, even with most of the Church of Christ, those sermons are so convicting that you're not ready to change. You don't want to hear that because something pierces you. And who wants to come hear that every week if you're not ready to do something?
But that's why, watch this, but that's why that sermon is to the saints.
Right.
It's not to the immature, it's to the saints. So watch this, because that saint is supposed to be there strictly for being refueled. Your energy should be sold by the time you get there Sunday. It should be low. You need to get a full tank again. Hear me? So now that you can go back out, because I guarantee you, Westchester, when you stop talking about something average and start increasing, you just need to get down here, girl. Watch this. Calvin's good at this. You need to be here for the Bible studies. He's constantly flowing out that energy. You're here. Think about it, Cheryl. You're
That's
here.
the thing. It should be the same way in the Bible classes. Just like it is in the pulpit.
I'm trying to tell you.
If you're not being convicted and pricked in the Bible class, yeah, you're there for learning. Just like you come to worship, you're there to learn.
Yes.
You're there to hear message.
Yes.
But you're going to be convicted. You should be pricked.
Come on.
But watch this. If you're trying to sit and go undetected, and that's what happens. Are you really here for the right reasons?
Yeah. You got it. And then you don't get it. Now you're wondering what I told you. Go back home and look at this again. I keep telling you that 14 and 16 is powerful. Why did he repeat the same thing, but he used salt and he used light? Why did he repeat this? He's driving home a point. You are learning of me, but you don't want to do anything about me. Believe me, they talked about Jesus. But when those great philosophers came into that church, they were high on them. When Paul walked into that church, they said, he ain't all that, he's passive. Stop and think about it. What do? We destroy instead of build up. That's that loose slip. And you don't even realize what you're saying. I'm not saying you don't compliment somebody when they come in, but you elevate that which you are around, which is with you. You don't never tear down, you build up. Because you are the light. Be honest with yourself. How many went out and said, we had to get a speaker, and woo, girl, he was good.
I always tell my coworkers they should, I don't really have coworkers, but I always always tell people that I would, they should come and hear you.
Oh, no, I'm not, don't make it personal.
Oh, no, I'm not, but I was just thinking, and I think a lot of people do that, Christians.
I don't. And watch this. Because God's method works. Did you hear me? God's method works. He says, go and make disciples. God's method works. We won't use it. I told you, we trying to do the web and remember this, all this stuff we trying to do from a financial standpoint. God said, I got the most simplest one in there that you can do if you want to see the church grow. Go. Just go and make disciples. Let them see your light. If they don't see no light, it's time for you, all of us, to get a mirror. It's time to see how we address things. It's time to see how we communicate. Do I communicate my communication? Is it so rough that somebody says, no thank you?
It has to always be effective.
This is my point.
And that's practice outside.
Yes.
Opening up your mind.
Yes, you have to work on this. It's something, I told you, you want to be proactive, pro. You watch this, I'm going to get up Sunday, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to preach, but I didn't do anything. I'm just going to get up and preach. I guarantee you, you're going to find a lot of things you don't like that you're talking about. But if you're proactive, then you study that text. So when you get up and someone even wants to confront you, first of all, they're not going to confront you because you spoke it like you live it. You were convinced your own self that this is right. So when you delivered, that aura of you came out that you believe in what you're saying. And you could be dead wrong. But you believe it. And so you send it out. Stop and think about it. I told you, he ain't joking with this. He's sending a message to the church to let them understand. You don't understand the power I've given to you. You're going to see in Luke 10 chapter where he even says, I'm sending you out 2 by 2. And he sends them out by 70. Do not carry staff. Do not carry money bag. Don't carry. What I say, don't carry extra sandal. Don't carry nothing. Just what you got on your back. Go. Stop and think about it. Jesus says something very powerful that the church today has forgotten.
Lost the first love.
There you go, Steve.
You told the church over in
Ephesus.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have this against you.
This one.
But you said we don't realize the power that he has given.
Yes.
Because John chapter 1, it says all things were made for him, and without him was not anything made that was made. But in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now, he was the light of men, but yet we are the light of the earth.
Right.
I mean, isn't that the power that he's given us? He's the light. He's the light.
You got it.
Now,
the light he's given us is him.
That's what I'm saying.
I know that's what you're saying, but that's what he's trying to tell you. It's him. And so watch this. Why you keep operating off of your own powers? That's what your problem is.
Right.
Well, I go out and I tried and they won't come. That's because it's about you. When you show your enthusiasm about what you've learned, well, you know, he's good. Now, let me ask you, what was good? Now, let me ask you, what was good? I used to say that all the time. You know, boy, you need to hear him. He was good. What's good? What was the lesson about? That captured your attention, that was so good. I'm going to drop a bomb on you. The message was intentional. Mean no harm. What the people got was ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Told you, when you get past this, a man walks up to you and says, here's gold, and strikes a match and says, here's gold. And you say, yeah, Oh yeah, that's gold. When you get past it, you find out you can do this with all kinds of metal. If you don't keep it on there long, it'll burn up. If you keep it on there long and it's gold, it'll melt.
Well, maybe if that kind of stuff continues to catch your eye.
Oh, come on.
See?
But that's what I'm saying.
What you are.
And this is my point. No offense. But all I'm trying to do is we talked. All I'm trying to do is get you to think about it. Don't get caught up in the moment. The beautiful words. Go make disciples. Beautiful words. Me and him talked. Elko, didn't we? We talked, didn't we? That sermon that you preach is what I've been teaching for 400 years. And what is the result? And none of us went out to go do that. That's the result of it. So a good message, and this is what I meant. What is a good message? A good message is when you respond to it. That's a good message. When you take it and do something with it, that's a good message. But if you just heard something and you don't do nothing with it, apparently that wasn't good, because it didn't move you. You said y'all need to go and do. Did you catch it? Y'all need to go and do. It didn't do anything for you. You still sitting right here talking about my arthritis is killing me. You still sitting right here talking about my vision is bad. You still just sitting right here talking. You hear what I'm saying? Go. Jesus says, go. No, he doesn't. He does too. He says, you're the light of the world. Go. He says, you're the salt of the earth. He says, guess what? You need to go. Because if you are the salt, then what you do is wherever you go, you are preserving, you are saving, you are bringing someone else to Christ, because you are it. If you're the light, then that means the world is in what? Darkness. Don't you understand? When you get around light, Gino talks about that. When you get around light, stop and think about it. Light illuminates. It brings, you can see. Well, this is where he's at. Can we? Are we running around here pretending like we're light, but really not light? Don't get offended. Do something about it. That's all. Do something about it. So that when I go out, when I leave, I should be encouraging others to come. You know, those that didn't make Bible study, you know, that you know, I should be encouraging them to come. You know, I should recognize them. Today, you were there. Today, I was sitting over here, Nisha, or whatever her name is, was walking past. I almost broke my neck. Did not trying to get out there to go see her. I said, you saw me, Calvert. I said, I want to go talk to her. Why? She's explaining to me what's going on. I'm encouraging her, girl, you need to get down here. Burnell, you encouraged her, remember? You were encouraged. She was talking about some negative stuff. You turned around and said, but girl, here's your answer. You turned around and gave her something. This is what I'm talking about. When you are the light, then you need to understand if you light, you ain't got no darkness. If you light. But if you not light, you can see darkness. That's all you talk about. You're quick to pull down the church and don't even know it.
Right, you're not taken in by darkness.
That's right. That's it. It's time for us to wake up. My time has expired. It's time for us to wake up. It's time to understand this 14 and 16, what he's talking about. We need to become that light of this world. We need to become the salt of this world. We are the ones and the only ones that can turn this around. So let's do it. Want to see Westchester grow? Let's do it. Collective. Let's do it. Now, is there any souls out there that you need to make a statement?